Good morning. It is Wednesday, May 25th. Um, Let me just seep my tea. I'm feeling very melancholy this morning. Um, I I was actually even debating about even turning this on because I'm just here, and I don't mean to depress anybody. Um, I have this over, I don't know, it's uh it's like uh millions of voices cried out or in pain, and then were suddenly silenced. That's kind of how I feel right now. Yeah. So or maybe it was 14 voices. I don't know. um yeah, I'm sorry. I'm very just sipping my tea. I haven't had my cup of tea yet this morning. So before we get into this, uh, and I have a very varied idea of uh, some very strong feelings around what happened in Texas yesterday, and some of them are not popular. Some of them probably would not have me have friends. But the what happened yesterday shouldn't have happened. Um, uh, so before we get into this, whoever's watching, I know I got one live person now. Don't know who it is. Um, let's just give a moment of silence for those lost lives. Okay. Good morning, Thomas. How are you? All right. I just got to shut off tabs. Good morning, Rob. Thomas always complaining about his knee. Whine, whine, whine. All I hear are excuses. I know your knee hurts. I'm sorry, friend. Um, my knee and my back have been bothering me lately, and my back, I just can't seem to stretch out whatever is going on there. Um, I did have Bill Shaw stop by last night. Um, uh, Bill is he's actually a very interesting character. Been in the martial arts for a long time. Point fighter, done a whole series of different martial arts. Um, but it's funny because back in the day, when I was doing my live and in person pre-recorded um, dojo chats. Maybe was calling it dojo talk. I can't remember. Anyway, so when I would do those, there were a number of people. I reached out to a number of people, and uh, Bill was a friend of a bunch of different people, and there were a couple of people go, "Oh, you talk to Bill Shaw." Like, it would be cool, he'd do it. So I reached out to him, and he goes, "I don't know who you are." I mean, very upfront. This guy, he's actually pretty cool, but he's like, "I don't know who you are. Let's meet, because I don't want to just go on, a podcast and not know what I'm getting into. So that was cool. So we met for coffee at a local Starbucks, and we talked for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. And just kind of getting to know each other, and basically he was like, hey, let's he didn't agree to the podcast right away. And that's, that's fine. But it was one of those where it was like, hey, let's get together and do some training. I'd like to see what you do. Maybe you can see what I do. Maybe we can spar. Maybe we do, let's just play. I'm like, fantastic. And then I don't know, something happened, and then COVID happened, because we had chatted. We had chatted a little bit through text, and then COVID happened, and so we just didn't get together. So he, when Mathers did his seminar at the school in February, Bill showed up. We chatted. He's like, oh, we should actually do this thing that we talked about a couple of years ago and actually get together. So I was like, yeah, sure. So anyway, as the months have gone on, I've seen him, I've chatted with him. And so he texts me, he says, hey, let's do this. And I'm okay. So I said, this is, I told him my schedule. And so on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have this black belt schedule, or not black belt schedule, but a black belt class scheduled. Of course, don't have any black belts that show up. So I was like, why don't we just use that time? We can just, we'll just do class, and, not do class, but we'll just do whatever we're going to do. And so last week he just kind of showed up out of the blue, because I had sent him a message, and then he just kind of showed up and was like, how you doing? So we talked. I don't know. We talked for about an hour or so, and then probably longer than that. And then last night, dude, I didn't get out of the dojo until like, I don't know, 10 o'clock, 10:15. It was late when I left. So, and he showed up at 8. So, not a lot of training got done last night, but there was some sharing. There was a little bit of sharing, and a lot of talking. So we really, better chance for us to get to know each other and all that kind of stuff. So very cool guy. But I think he also did stunt stuff too, but I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, so Bill stopped by. It will be more of a regular thing. Essentially, I'm just going to keep those days open because I technically should be open, and he'll just call me and be like, hey, can I come by tonight? And I can either tell him yay or nay. So, which most of the time it'll probably be yay, because I like everything that he does. Or I don't like everything. I like what he does. And some of the stuff he was showing me last night, I was like, ooh, I hadn't, like, it was like putting it, like, it's kind of the same, but different. Like, he had a total different viewpoint on something that kind of improves some of the stuff that I do. So, Bill, good morning. How are you? Enjoying today is not really rainy. It's just kind of at least that's how it is here. But what I need to do is one of the things I did over the weekend is I drained my hot tub. I got to clean it because it's a little bit dirty. The heater, a couple of years ago, I drained it, filled it back up, and then it started blowing the fuse. I just couldn't figure it out, and so what was it? Somebody had told me that like 90% of the time it's usually the heater core that or whatever they call it. So I found one pretty inexpensive for the model that I have. It's really easy to change out. I just never changed it out. So I drained the hot tub. I will be cleaning it out, and then I will be changing that out and hoping that that's what the issue is, because it's actually a pretty nice hot tub. So Bill is I'm now officially an Ohioan. So is that because your Oregon driver's license expired and you had to get one from Ohio, or what's how are you officially an Ohioan? Yeah. So while Bill responds to that, pretty much. Okay, good guess. I'm a thinker. I'm a thinker. Some tea, a little bit of tea makes me smarter, or at least I think it does. Let's see. I'd been communicating with somebody over text about classes. Wanted his daughter to come and take, he basically, based on his schedule, he could only have his daughter take, one class a day or one class a week. So I was like, yeah, I said, I just opened up those options. This is how you register for it. And then he, and we've been texting back and forth. I was like, hey, you're going to, and I don't like to chase people. But kind of at the, like right now, I have this fear in me that I don't have enough students. So I'm not chasing people. I'm following up with them. But honestly, which I should probably be better at. But with this guy, I was like, hey, are you going to show up today? Yes. We're going to show up. Did he show up? He didn't show up. Oh, well. So that's fun. Other stuff that I'm doing on the back end to promote the school, I still can't talk about, because not that I don't want to jinx it, but there is, what is it? There is, it just hasn't happened yet. So, if it doesn't happen by next week, I'll let you guys know. Well, whether it does or it doesn't, and because there's a bigger story that surrounds it. Yeah, there hasn't been that click yet. So it is what it is. Let's see. Oh, I got a package yesterday. You know what? Okay, so I was going to film it and put it on TikTok, and I could probably go back and do this. But why don't we open this package? Now, I'm gonna push this back a little bit. I'm gonna get up. Love my taco pants. Okay, so I don't have a knife around, so I have keys. Keys always work. This is from Eaglemoss. If people don't know what Eaglemoss is a model company. You're doing it. Well, I mentioned it earlier. I was hoping to talk about it Monday or even yesterday, but yeah, I can't talk about it till next week. Okay, so I'm wearing my taco pants. My see, taco pants right there. And my fat shirt. So this is here. We'll do a fit as TikTokers. They call it a fit check. So so I'm wearing my yes. It's I'm a Trekkie, but I also like Star Wars. This is my fat shirt. So it's just a big. It's a 2X, but it's big. So feeling loose on me, and then I'm just because it's the morning and I'm really not there yet. I'm wearing my taco pajamas. Anyway, so no, I don't have any knives around me, but keys. Now, Eaglemoss is, what was I talking about? I was talking about Eaglemoss. Eaglemoss is a company that they make die-cast models. Specifically, they make them for all sorts of genres, but specifically they are for science fiction. So if anybody knows, I have been, now this is a big box. Like this is like, that's my hand compared to the box. I recently opened, and there's all this packaging. Recently I opened one and I filmed it where I got the Cerritos from Lower Decks. I mean, having a cartoon ship in real it was really, really cool. So when it comes to Star Trek, I don't think people know. So the Enterprise, my favorite Enterprise is actually the Enterprise from the movies. That's my favorite design. Don't know why that's my favorite design. It just is. But the design, the way everything's put together. Dojo, stay out of the box. It is, and I watched it. It's perfect. Like it just kind of fills everything. So with Strange New Worlds coming out, I decided that I deserved this. Now, I've been getting the little ones, but the XL versions are all right. So you have to share. He got in the box. Gotta love the cat. Yes, kitty. Yeah. So anyway, so Strange New Worlds. If you have not watched Strange New Worlds, you have to watch Strange New Worlds. It's amazing. It's just a really, really great show. And the Enterprise, even though it is a little bit different than the original series, and we could almost say that it is, this is 10 years prior to, or, maybe just shy of a decade prior to Kirk taking over the Enterprise, that maybe this is just the design is they changed the design because they're always upgrading. Okay. Okay. The model is for you. The box is for the pet. Yeah. Hey, exactly. Yeah. You're such a good kitty. All right. So comes with a little catalog. This is a special issue. Now, there were actually two versions of this XL. There was the special edition, And then there was, see, isn't that just a gorgeous ship? That is a gorgeous ship. And I think the reason I like this design is because this is very reminiscent of the movie design. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is the original Enterprise design. All right. And then all of the other designs that they kind of based it off of. How would they change it? Oh, wow. This is really cool. Okay. Now to the model. Oh my gosh. This is gorgeous. Okay. Ooh. Now, this is actually smaller. And the nacelles are just slightly off. I don't want to break it, but I wonder if I could. But anyway, this is a special edition as opposed to the regular XL. So I don't know. But anyway, this is the ship. This, look at that. Isn't that fantastic? And it's actually kind of small for an XL edition. In fact, I think my my other ship, because I actually have an original one. Yeah, this is so cool. But you can kind of tell, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, one nacelle, I think it's this one, kind of comes down just slightly. Yeah, see? Let's see. It's just slightly bent. So I don't know if I need to, is that I don't know what's metal or what's plastic. And so I was thinking, ooh, maybe I could heat it and then just like warm it up. Actually, I think it's this nacelle that's straight. It's this nacelle that's bent. Quality control. Should I complain? Should I be a Kevin? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. It's still gorgeous though. I'm very, very impressed by this Enterprise. In fact, when it comes to, say, a new design Enterprise, between the one that they made for, I mean, this has Discovery's name on it because this is, from that, the last episode of the first season. And then I think between the Discovery Enterprise or the Strange New Worlds Enterprise and the Enterprise from, what's it called? From the Kelvin universe, this one is so much better. Like this one is so much better. Yes, I'm trying to not scream. So I'm sure that I'll figure out a way. So a friend of mine, and I have a pewter version of this, and I can't remember who it was. Not of the original Enterprise. I have a pewter version. I think it is a pewter version. I don't know. But of course, the nacelles, they sag over time just because of weight. So I have to bend them back up. So I was just, and it's in a display case in the old dojo in the garage. And I noticed the other day that this nacelle is like really, really droopy. So I have to go in there and reshape it. But oh my gosh. So let's see. Of course, it comes with a stand. and all of that. Okay. Oops. And we just put that in. Oops. There we go. So there it is. Just like that. That is wickedly cool. Oh my gosh. Okay. I got to put this off to the side and then just admire it. See, this is why it's hard to buy me shit for my birthday. Oh, yeah. Use it. Okay. Duh. Thank you, Thomas. See, that's why I have friends. They point out the obvious shit that I just don't think about. Yeah, my wife asked me the other day, what am I, what do you want for your birthday? And I'm like, I don't know. How about 20 new students? That's what I want for my birthday. I want 20 new students. So anyway, but yeah, it's stuff like this, because could I have said, hey wife, I want this, and actually sent her a link and been like, spend the $80 that I spent on it. And then been like, ooh. But yeah, I just, it's little stuff like that that makes it hard for people to buy shit for me. So, yeah, that's just a gorgeous ship. Man, my wife asks what I want for my birthday, and I can never come up with a clean response. Yeah, I don't know. How about this? You naked? Like my wife naked. That's what I would love. Well, she can come wrapped in a bow tie, or not a bow tie, but like a bow, so I can unwrap her. That would be a great birthday present. I think any human who has any level of a libido, specifically male, would be like, yes, that would be a perfect birthday present. Okay. So here's a question, Bill. Are they from Eaglemoss? Because I think Eaglemoss makes die-cast cars too. Yes, the gift that keeps on giving for at least a limited time. It's free, cheap, and hopefully enjoyable for both parties. Yeah. Oh, Bill is am I pronouncing that right? Ertl? Yard. Okay. Oh, damn. Yeah, so with the Enterprises, now I do have I have the Battlestar Galactica from the most recent BSG, but pretty much, and then I have the USS Sinjo from Discovery, just because I think it's just such an awesome looking ship. I also have I shared that I had the they always say that it's the Enterprise if if it had been like season 5. But the designer was like, no, it's that wouldn't have been the Enterprise, but from season 5. But it has the saucer section, nacelles, and it's kind of like what would eventually become a Constitution class ship. I have that. It was basically just a concept design. And then what other ship do I have that's not? Oh, I have the Titan. I have the Titan that they put out before they put out the lower decks Titan. I had to order that. I had to order that one from where is it? I had to order that one from Russia, or maybe it was it Chimera? Anyway, so yeah, I had to order. So, but all the other ones I have are all of the Enterprise. And it's so funny because then you look, like, if you go on to early, there's the Enterprise F, there's the Enterprise J. And I know the Enterprise J is canon because it was actually it was basically in the background picture of the Enterprise, or in Enterprise. But yeah, I don't know. That's probably one of the ugliest designs I've ever seen. But there's like the, Enterprise F, and it kind of looks like a Sovereign class, just a little bit different. I don't have that one because that is, I would say that's not canon. That is Star Trek Online, which is really interesting because I was watching an interview with, was his name Alan Blast? Anyway, he's one of the concept designers for Picard. And so he was watching when he saw the last episode of Picard season 1, and you had like thousands of ships of the exact same design. He was like, oh, so that's a thing. Like, and it's really funny because when he responds to it, it was like, oh, that's a thing. So his whole thing was, when we do our Starship thing in season 2, it's going to be, we're actually going to have different ships. And so, so they started with a Stargazer, and then he said he actually reached out to Star Trek Online to get some of the ships. And so there were some ships that were already like super high res that they were basically just, they just convert the file to a different file to use. So some of those ships became, they actually became canon in a way by moving from the online universe into Picard. But so I thought that was kind of cool. Let's see. You like so it's interesting. When I remember when the Next Generation first came out, and I saw somebody had posted up here earlier, when the Enterprise C. So, okay. So Bill, when the Next Generation first came out and I saw a picture of what potentially would be the Enterprise, I was like, that is the ugliest. That's the ugliest thing ever. Let's see. So it's one of those where it's just like, I was not a fan. And then they actually, because it was a concept painting, and then when you actually saw the ship on the thing, I was like, oh, okay, well, this isn't that bad. It's, you know, it's still kind of got this, it's got all the same design concepts and all that, but it just, I don't know. I still go back to the TV series, or the original 6 movies. That's the one for me. I just really like that. I kind of liked, when it came to Enterprise C, that was one of the design concepts for the Next Generation. And in fact, the one that was ended up being on the show was not the one that they were planning on having on the show. I mean, for that episode of yesterday's Enterprise. So, which I think is kind of interesting. In fact, now they, like, I think Eaglemoss actually sells a model of an Enterprise C design or concept design. I don't know which one I like better between the two, though. But yeah, I'm not sure. But also, if you look in the God, what is it? If you look in the briefing room where you have all the Enterprises along the wall, yes, you are missing the NX-01, but the one for C is actually shaped differently than the one in the the one from yesterday's Enterprise, which is, and I think the one on the wall is shaped more like the design that they were going with. So, it's like the USS Nog, such a unique design. I don't know if I can picture the Nog. Let me do a really quick search here. Let's see. USS. Okay. Okay, so apparently that's the USS Nog. Is that one that we get to see in Discovery season 4? Or is that something? Oh, yeah, it doesn't. It looks like the nacelles aren't attached. Who came up with that idea? Not attaching the nacelles. Ooh, I'm sorry. I don't care what ship it is. It's like you're almost asking for failure to happen. I don't know. I just I can't get over the whole unattached nacelles. I just don't. I think it's it's one of those things that, oh, we could do this, but should we do it? Yeah, I don't know. See, okay. It's like an Audi engine or a Volkswagen engine. Now, I have not looked inside my truck engine, but having opened up the different engines that I've worked on over the years, the Audi engine is there are so many points of failure. It's like, how complicated could you make an engine? Yeah, just let the Germans do it. Yeah. Okay, so not attaching nacelles is like putting a car's engine in a trailer behind the car. You can make it work, but should you? Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Actually, I think more because the nacelles aren't the engine. The nacelles are more like the wheels. So it's more like detaching the wheels from the car and hoping that some magic magnetic connection between the wheel and the, like, even in hover cars or even on the rail trams, like there, or the magnetic trams, like yeah, there's still, like, there might not be any moving parts, but there's no parts like, ooh, we're gonna have this over here, you know. I don't know. I'm just one of the issues of being a Star Trek fan, of going, really? Like, I know it's science fiction, but really, I don't, yeah, I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Now, if we go to again, I'm still behind. Stupid. That's all. Yep. Let's see. Okay, so I guess the design question was, how do we make a futuristic ship look more futuristic than the future ships that we already have, now that we are further in the future? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's almost, I mean, it's almost like the people who are trying to make Michael Burnham more likable are designing the ships. They're just failing at it. Okay. Let's see. I don't have any Star Trek people on my birthday list today. However, I did actually watch some episodes, so I'm not completely, now I finished Demon. Yesterday we were talking about Demon, and it ends with them, it, like, this little silver goo basically wanted, it really ended up being the silver goo interacted with Harry and whatchamacallit, and Paris, and we're like, sentience, we need this. So the silver goo actually, you know, once they communicated that to what's her name, the captain, she's like, okay, well, I'll get all my crew together, and, you know, the ones that want to do it, you guys, you know, because there was no harm done to them. So anyway, so the episode ends with the Voyager taking off and leaving, I don't know, several people down there to and maybe it might have been all the crew, but you see people in their uniforms down there. Let's see. So this is how I only watched I can only actually remember one episode. I think I watched Hope and Fear. I think I fell asleep on it. But the one before that, episode 93, 1, this is where they encounter a Mutara class, and it's funny, a Mutara class nebula. So the last time we heard this name was in Star Trek II, because they have but it was like the Mutara, or it was the nebula was named, like it had a name. It was the Mutara Nebula, and I think in even I think they maybe even reference the area as the Mutara area, or Mutara sector, I think, because the nebula went away in the Genesis blast. So anyway, so they have a Mutara class nebula, and then they are like, oh, okay, well, it's so big, we can't go around it, or at least we could, but it'll take like forever. But it'll only take like a month or so to get through it. So then they start going through it, and then they start coming down some type of radiation. So instead of it messing with their scanners, it was messing with them. And so they came up with this great idea to be con-like and be put in suspended animation. And really the only two people that would be able to pilot the ship and do anything was Seven of Nine and the Doctor. So it's really, and they kind of preface of, okay, she used to be, 7 of 9 used to be part of the collective, and she's just been getting used to not hearing voices all the time and being an individual among other people. But now there's only going to be one person for like months, and normal people, they can't really be around. They have to be around other people before they go insane. So anyway, was talking about that. Not a bad episode. I think, it was interesting, just another, maybe not necessarily a monster of the week episode, but it was interesting. Hope and Fear, honestly, I can't even remember where it started. But and I know one towards the end, it did start to affect her, and she was having visions and all this kind of stuff. So it was not a bad episode. Yeah, Hope and Fear, I couldn't even say anything about because I don't even remember it. So I'll probably have to rewatch that today. And just the mood that I'm in, I don't really I'm not really wanting to be productive today, but I gotta overcome that. That's why just like I said at the beginning of today, I was debating about even coming on today, but gotta push forward. Some things are out of our control. Okay. Let's see. But let's just say this, if I wasn't productive at all and all I did was watch Star Trek, I'd have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 episodes, 7, just to be ready for tomorrow. That's a lot of episodes. I might do some video editing and have it on in the background. I think that I'll try and be productive, and then, try not to be like, ooh, that's a really cool episode, I'll just watch that. Okay. At some point, I don't know which episode it is, but at some point there is like season 4 begins and season 5 ends, or no, season 4 ends and season 5 begins in along one of these things. So I think Demon was like episode 25. So I think one might have been episode 26. So maybe Hope and Fear is the new episode of season. I can't remember. Anyway, coming really close to getting into a new season, which season 5 already of Voyager. I mean, like, this is like flying by. It just seems like I just started season 4. So we're just knocking this out. Now, I know that there are some birthdays today of some of my Facebook friends and some of my regular friends. Birthdays. Gotta click on that button. Okay. So Jared Sapp, he is who is Jared? Oh, Jared is he a black belt? Anyway, he's a kid I met in Indiana at Jim Korn's camp. Really cool kid. And then Ryan Nelson, his birthday is today. Ryan is the, what did he just got a job at Kaiser. He is like he's like a security, like a higher level security director for Kaiser. I met Ryan because he was a manager at Providence and actually helped push forward getting the taser pilot program getting started. So it was really because he had gotten tasers for Spokane, and then he had gotten that program. So they had a successful program up there. So then he brought it to Portland. When he moved to Portland, anyway, Ryan's a super nice guy. Previous cop. I'm not sure why he didn't become a cop. It might have been because of an injury. I don't know. I can't remember. But super good people. He has since moved on from Providence and up, obviously, because he's working for Kaiser now. But I always liked Ryan. Ryan never did me wrong. He was always easy to talk to. And then my buddy John Clark. I have known John for I think John I think is actually 50 years old today. So John I met through this is crazy. So when I was a machinist, I met this guy named Brad Anderson. Maybe his name was Brad Anderson. Anyway, so he had a friend who wasn't, I guess you could call it an electronic engineer, but anyway, he basically became an electronic engineer and then illegally modded cable boxes. And this is back when, like, if you had a hot if you just had a hot line coming in from the of cable coming in, so like an apartment complex, usually cable was free. And that would just like the local channels, but you had to have a cable box to make sure that you got more. So like he would mod these cable boxes and you could get HBO and you could get everything for free. Anyway, so Brad had this friend, and I can't remember the friend's name, but his brother John was he worked somewhere and he made rubber stamps for this one company. He kind of ran their little rubber stamp department. And so, and I had just started my web design company, And so John was like, uh, uh, he was like, yeah, he says, I really want to I really want to have my own business. I don't want to work for somebody else. And so, so I was like, okay, well, let's build you a website, let's get you a website to design stuff. And so before, like, and it was really funny because he had talked to all these different supply companies, and they're like, well, you can't sell rubber stamps online. There's no way to do it. And so, like, this was ingenious programming on, like, I still have a disc of his, of all the file stuff, like, using the smallest, like, I basically came up with an algorithm that, based on the font that you chose, and there were up to, like, you on the biggest one, it was really simple. There was like 13 lines you could put on this biggest stamp. Now, if you had smaller lines, it would, he would of course put it onto a smaller stamp, but it was just however many lines you want to put, and it would size it up. And then you could actually choose the font. You could choose the font, the size, and based on the font and the size, actually reduce the amount of characters you could put in the thing. So this was like, and it was funny because after, maybe it was about 6 months after we had gotten everything programmed and it was running, he was actually making some good business. But it was one of those where one of the stamp companies is like, wow, we took a look at your website and we did better. This is all, Java based and their plugins, but ours was so much better. It was so much better. It was amazing. Like, but I look at some of these programmings and it's like learning a new language and being really good at it, but not actually speaking the language for a long time. You go, you can't remember half the stuff. Dude, I read some of the code I wrote, and this was all JavaScript. And I'm like, I couldn't tell you what I was writing. I couldn't, like, I wrote it, I made it work. It was pristine. Anyway, so John, he has gone on to, I don't see him a lot, but he runs stampconnection.com. Actually, it's stamp-connection.com. We wanted to get stampconnection.com, but that was taken. So stamp-connection.com. That's John's website. He is a multi-million-dollar company, really grounded in the community for Gresham. And maybe he was in historic downtown Gresham, but I know he moved his shop a couple times, but like, he's just an awesome guy. And I'm really proud of the success that he's made for himself, and that I kind of helped him with initially. So, cause he, and actually, I actually worked for him a little bit because I was programming, and then, just over time when, cause he had eventually quit his job and opened up a shop. And just the way my life went, I had stopped programming, and because I decided to close down my business, and then we did, then I went to work for Hollywood Video, and then I quit, or I don't know. Anyway, but I actually ended up going to work for him for a little bit. And so he basically had an in-house programmer. So his site, man, it was awesome. And his site now is really cool too. But anyway, so if you ever need rubber stamps, stamp-connection.com, that's John's site. So happy birthday, John. Happy 50 years. I think I invited him to my party, but I don't know how long. I don't know. See, some of these people, they just don't get on Facebook enough. So I might actually have to send texts out to people, just be like, hey, did you see? So anyway, so there are the birthdays that I know of today. And holy cow, we're coming up on an hour. So, okay. Thank you all for tuning in, allowing me to come on and just kind of talk and share and all that kind of stuff. I love talking with you guys. I hope you all are safe today. And yeah, so I'm starting to draw back into my melancholy. I'm trying not to get there. Maybe I might just put on a Star Trek episode just to get my brain going. But all of you, stay safe. Love you all. Live long and prosper. And I'll see you tomorrow.